Hey everybody, Simon Hudson here with McDonald Realty in beautiful Squamish, British Columbia for the week ending March the 22nd, 2024. This is your weekly roundup. So what we've had going on lately is 19 listings and 4 sales. So we're back to the point where the inventory is increasing. We're now up to 187 listings. So about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I mentioned that there were a couple of hot properties that had come on the market. We're expecting big activity and we thought we were going to see sales. Now, I know there are a lot of people running around saying the market is super active and really busy. I think it's busy, but the buyers and sellers aren't willing to come down in their price enough to sell the properties, and buyers aren't willing to pay what the sellers want. So there's a lot of activity and a lot of people looking at properties, a lot of offers being written, but not agreements being made. And I think that that's really showing in the market. So we end up with this market where we don't get a lot of sales. We don't have a lot of indication of which direction the market is going. Open houses still tend to be a little bit busier, but there's a lot of uncertainty. And when we get uncertainty in the market, people are afraid to pull the trigger. So that's happening. And a lot of that is driven because the central bank is central bank and Bank of Canada are speculating that they're going to reduce the interest rates. Now, there's a bit of a problem there. What's ended up happening with the interest rates is that they're caught between a rock and a hard place because regarding the consumer price index, some of the biggest components of that are up dramatically, like rental, mortgage costs, and we're going to have mortgage rollovers in the next year or two that are going to be dramatic, where people are currently paying 2% on their mortgage and they're going to be paying 5 or 6%. So that's going to have a dramatic impact on CPI and cause inflation to be driven up. Now, if inflation gets driven up, the Bank of Canada and the central bank are sort of required to maintain inflation. So if that's causing inflation to go up and they reduce the interest rate, that's going to drive it higher. Now, the Fed down in the States had their announcement this week, and so did the Bank of Canada, that they're going to be keeping rates the way they are right now. But they were anticipating 3 rate cuts this year. And then what they did was they said next year, their plan is to do a couple less rate cuts the following year. Now, what's interesting from the American side is you have to remember this is an election year. So they try to keep everything propped up during an election year. And Jerome Powell sort of saying that, hey, next year is the year we're going to look at possibly doing fewer cuts. That's a big deal because what he's saying is, yeah, we know we need to do fewer cuts. We know we might have to increase interest rates, but at this point in time, because it's an election year, we're not going to do it yet. But that's what we're going to be looking at. So I just got to turn that. It's my daughter trying to call me in the middle of me doing a video, but I had to say, I'll call you back later. Anyways, um, so yeah, that's where we're at with the interest rate. And I just think it's something that we need to keep in mind. They're in a position, the workers or the jobless rate, I think you're going to start seeing unemployment starting to creep up. We are entering into recession territory. And the government's sort of stuck because they need to stimulate the economy. And the way they stimulate the economy is by dropping interest rates. And that will give people more jobs because people are producing more products. Because with lower interest rates, the corporations are willing to hire more people and produce more product because interest rates are being dropped. But if they do that, inflation goes rampant. So they're really, really in a hard place right now. And I think we're at a point where, although they might reduce them temporarily, if the Bank of Canada and or the Fed reduce interest rates, I think you'll see it be a temporary measure that then they'll hold rates the following meeting and then possibly even raise them back up if inflation gets out of hand. So I think we need to be aware that that's kind of what's going on. Just checking my notes here. And yeah, it looks like I've got most of it, but it's really a tough call for the Bank of Canada. And with these things being as they are, if they do anything other than keep them steady, it's going to be a problem. Now I've got my mom trying to call me. I'm going to turn that one off. I don't know why they like to call me right when I'm doing a video, but that's the way it goes. Anyways, so here's the deal. I think the market is very stable right now. You've got buyers who want to buy, sellers who want to sell, but they're not willing to do it at the price that they need to do it at. Again, my mom trying to call again, which then causes a problem of nobody willing to make a transaction. Without transactions, we can't get a real feel for what actual prices should be. and that's causing a stagnation in the marketplace. So we'll see what happens as we go into the later portion of the spring market and start into the summer market. We usually see a little bit of a slowing around here, but we'll see what happens going forward. Again, 10%, 8 to 10% new listings coming on every week, and the inventory is creeping up. So I think, what did I say? We're at 189 right now, which is quite high compared to being down at 150. So that's up like 20% since the lows. So inventory is getting higher. That's where we're at. I hope that's been helpful to you. If anybody ever has any questions or you want to comment on this, let me know. Put your comments down below. Subscribe so you get these on a regular basis, and I'll try to keep you posted with what's happening in the market. Take care. Have a wonderful evening and have a great weekend. Bye for now.